Hey there, referees. John Odes here, your assigner, with a couple of game day reminders as we get closer to the first day of games. Wanted to go over a couple of just basics, but make sure everybody's on the same page so we can have a really smooth first day of games. Double check your assignments. Make sure that you have a ride and you know where it is. First of all, equipment and uniform. Obviously, wear your yellow. If you've got your patch that came in the mail, awesome, wear it. If you don't, and I know some of you are still waiting for them, be aware that in the packaging there's a piece of Velcro and you don't want to lose that, so look carefully in the packaging for that. Obviously, the black shorts, the black socks. Everybody needs to have a quality watch or stopwatch that counts down, and preset it the night before for the length of the period of time for your first game, so that you don't have to sit there on the day of trying to figure out the different modes. Watch is great also just because it has the time in case you're having to use the time to say, hey, what time's the next game supposed to start? So I recommend the watch. They have some at Walmart, 15, 20 bucks. Go check them out. Make sure they have a countdown function. Remember, no phones should be in your pockets or out at the games. You should not use your phone as a timer. Keep those phones in your bags away off from the field. Secondly, about equipment, make sure you have a good whistle, and below that whistle, loud. That is the number one thing that we hear from coaches and from players, is that the younger refs don't blow the whistle loud enough for everybody to hear with confidence. So I get it, it kind of hurts your own ears because it's close, but blow that whistle so that people 100 feet away can hear it, and that's going to give you confidence, and it's going to make the people that are listening to your calls feel more like you have more confidence as well. So game day, arrive 20 minutes at least before your scheduled game so that you can start checking people in. 30 would even be better, but be checking people in. Find that home coach, UCR especially, find that home coach. Get the game card. It's that kind of manila colored, yellow colored game card. Make sure they've filled it out. Hopefully they've already given it to the visiting coach. If they have not, please ask them to do that and get that game card filled out and then in the center ref's hands. You'll keep that game card throughout the game. Just put little checks, for score. Every time they score, you'll just, take that game card out and put a little mark. You don't need to mark who scored or things like that. That's fine. And then additionally, with the game card at the end of the game, you're going to get that signed by both coaches. And then they have a chance to put any comments about how you did or things that happened at the game. Okay, so that's with the game card. Additionally, with the field, it's your job as a referee to kind of do a quick little perimeter check. Look out for major hazards like a giant stick in the field or a rock or something, or some hazard. Do your best to kind of make sure the playing field is safe and sound. Okay, when you guys do check-ins, so call those nice and early so you have plenty of time to do all the check-ins. Most people do it at the 18 on that goal line box, and they just have all the kids line up, they call their names, and then they have them knock on their shin guards, show their cleats, look for earrings, for jewelry, bracelets, things like that might get caught or make them hurt. Okay, if you're not sure about what the rules are about that stuff, it's all in that rule book that I sent out in Remind yesterday. If you can't find it, it's on our referee website. It's also on the Placer Hills Soccer website. So go check that out. Make sure, check up on your rules as a referee. It's your job to know the rules and know them well. So double check all those things before you get there for your game. Let's say you have an older game, it's a U14 or a U16 or something, and it's a different league, and they don't come with that manila colored game card. They come with a piece of paper. Totally fine. Use that black book that came with your game kit, with your referee kit. It's got a little basic game card in it. Just keep track on that and have the coaches sign that, and then you'll take a picture of that later, and that will be your receipt for the game. Okay. Also, when you're doing your check-in with the coaches, it's really wise to just kind of set a standard like, hey, coach, are we doing redos on throw-ins for U10? Or everybody knows about the build outline. Just kind of double check their understanding and what you guys are going to be doing so there's not confusion before the game starts. Make sure you guys start on time, especially those early games. The whole day gets backed up if those first few games don't start on time. So do a really good job of blowing that whistle, getting those captains out there. If you don't have something to flip, make sure you bring something to flip, a big coin of some kind. If you've never done this part of the game before, you have the captains come out. You show them the coin. The visiting captain will get to call it in the air. If they win the toss, they get to choose either to choose which side of the field they want to start on or whether they want to have the kick. So you choose kick or you choose a side, one of those two, okay? A lot of times in U10 especially, they choose just to stay where they are because it's too confusing. During the game, blow the whistle loud, use your flags really, really aggressively and sharply so we can hear them. Point. You ARs that came out to our trainings, we were teaching you to constantly in your head be saying things like it's off green, off yellow, off green, off yellow, back and forth in your head so that when it does go out, you know who was the last one to touch it. That's kind of a helpful thing. And then be really vocal with your calls, okay? Don't just blow the whistle or just, do this. As a center ref, be vocal. Say something like, red throw, or goal kick. And younger they are, the more instruction they're gonna need. So U10, you almost become a little bit of a teacher of the game. You gotta get out there and say, okay, it's a red goal kick. That means you gotta back up behind this build out line till the ball's in play. All right, put it right there. All right, go ahead. You gotta teach them. If they do the throw in wrong, remember, 2 hands over your head, 2 feet on the ground, behind the line. You just tell them the rules while they're playing, okay? Double CR. You will sometimes do a double CR for U10, and here's how that works. Just as if you were ARs, so one's running up and down this side and one's kind of running up and down this side, and AR, right? Same concept, just move it more toward the center so that each of you can kind of see those parts of the field where it's out and cover your half of the field. There will still be one of you who is technically the CR, managing the game card, dealing with the coaches, etc. But during the game, you're both holding a whistle. Nobody has flags. You're both holding a whistle and you're both calling outs, goal kicks, just kind of more of what's on your side, okay? After the game, remember, get signatures from both coaches. And if you are a referee that has a phone, every one of you should take a picture of the game card before you leave that game and move on. Just as a backup, it's a receipt for you that says you did that game. Put your names on there, make sure, okay? Here's what we're gonna do with those game cards. In the past, some of you turned them into either the Auburn office or Mountain Mike's. We're not gonna do that. We're going to take pictures of them and we're going to turn them in probably through email. I'll send out really clear instructions on how to do that. I'll make a video for you guys how to do that. But we're gonna use the game report function in Stack Officials. So, center referee, it will be your job before the end of Sunday. So one day after your game, before the end of Sunday, to go into Stack Officials, and there's a little spot for game reports. And you'll take the information from the game card and fill it in. It's also where you would put any incidents like, hey, this coach was harassing me, or had constant issues with parents, et cetera, okay? On the game days, myself, Bob Detweiler, and Dominic Brissy will be at the fields. So if you need something, look for us. I'll try to put their picture in one of the emails so you guys can see who those guys are if you don't know who they are, okay? Or you can always call me if there's a problem. Call me 530-863-7450. You can call me if there's an issue and I'll try to come mitigate that issue. Okay, speaking of parents and coaches, okay? Probably one of the #1 reasons that referees stop becoming a referee is because parent harassment, coaches yelling at them. I want you guys to know we're not gonna tolerate that this year, and so I need your help actually writing it down, involving the coaches. So here's what would happen, okay? So you've got a coach that's being too vocal, giving you a lot of hard time about things. You can, in a break in the game, kind of come near the coach, say, hey coach, I need you to stop making calls or tell me how to make calls and let me run the game. Thank you very much, and walk away, okay? If there's a parent that's an issue, you can walk up next to the coach and say, hey coach, I've got this parent over here who is constantly, harassing me or giving me the calls before the calls happen. Can you please go take care of that parent? Thank you. And you walk away. Do it with a smile, do it respectfully, and it should go okay. If it doesn't go okay, then yes, you can give a warning to the coach, and hopefully that will take care of it. Okay. Other than that, we will be releasing the next week of games pretty soon. So make sure you have your schedules ready to go and you know what your availability is before that's released. Okay, I think that's it. Email me or text me if you have questions.